Welcome to Mr. Biz Radio, biz talk for biz owners. If you're ready to stop faking the funk and take your business onward and upward, this show is for you. And now, here's Mr. Biz, Ken Wentworth.
All right, welcome to another episode of Mr. Biz Radio with me, Mr. Biz, Ken Wentworth. Guys, this week we're going to talk about, talking about a lot of different things, but our guest this week, I met him, actually got connected through a mutual friend of ours, Jose Aristamuño, who's been on the show as well. And Adam actually was a keynote speaker at Jose's event, and I was a keynote speaker as well. But Adam is like a super busy guy, and he's, hobnobbing with all these, super important people. So he got to the event. He couldn't get there until later in the day because he was spending some time with Tony Robbins, early in the day. He had to break away from Tony to come to the event to speak. And so we didn't get to spend a lot of time down there when I was down there, but we've stayed connected. I know he and I've talked a couple of times online, and I wanted to have him on the show to talk about the Hero Project. You can see behind him, if you're watching the video, the logo for it. Adam Jablin, welcome to Mr. Biz Radio.
Hey, thank you for having me, my man. Welcome. The welcome is very near to my heart because when we met on my IG Live and then get to hang out a little in Florida, there was just a kinship. There was a brotherhood. So thanks for having me on. Yeah,
man, I really appreciate you coming on. So I guess let's get started, Adam, with walk us through sort of your entrepreneurial journey. I know you've got an amazing story behind you, and it led you to what you do now and your vision of what you do now. So tell us a little bit about that, if you would.
So let's just focus on business and business itself, and then we can take the conversation wherever you want.
Okay.
I was born into and raised in a family business. So I was third generation into the lace manufacturing. I would even call it an empire. We were the number one lace manufacturing company in the world. And it was one of those childhoods where it wasn't like you get to dream about what you want to do and who you want to be. It was like the mafia. This is what we do. This is who we are. This is what you're going to be doing. And I was raised, now I understand generations, but I was raised in a way where you had to prove yourself. There was no silver spoon. There was no where he's, the boss's son. I was the boss's and the grandson of this empire. So I had to be the first one there. I had to be the last one to go. There was a while I had to work night shift. I had to learn every department from being the janitor to literally yarn inventory, to working the machines, to quality control, to the shipping department, to design and development. I mean, every area of business, which for me was a blessing later in life, because when it was time to start doing what I'm doing now, which is the Hero Project, igniting people's hero within, helping people with recovery from alcoholism, addictions, unhealthy dependencies, and really breaking them free, I had a structure on how to run a business and how to know every piece of my business and let it flow.
So how long, obviously you're not in the family business anymore. How did you step out of that?
Great question. Well,
like you said, the mafia, right?
Yeah.
Once you're in, you're in.
It was like the mafia, and by the way, like the mafia, you don't step out. What really happened was a natural progression. In about 2019, things had shifted. So we were the number one lace manufacturing. So let me say lace like women's intimate apparel, Victoria's Secrets, La Perla, Hanky Panky, and things were shifting. Something that's very interesting, and people could look at the stock market to know that I'm telling the truth. Look at the stocks of these companies. Is some of the biggest names out there, like Victoria's Secrets, they bet against Bezos and Amazon. They didn't believe that people would be ordering online and trying things on and sending it back. They bet on their own inventory and brick and mortar, and they bet wrong. So we were going against crazy inventories. Amazon was a monster. Also, the Far East, even though we were still beating them, they were cutting their prices down dramatically. And the Me Too movement, which, by the way, I think is true and is valid, and every woman should be respected. But there was a time that it got a little too crazy, and it was as if it killed women's fashion. Nobody was dressing up sexy. And we either had, it was time for this family to make a decision. And it was either, okay, we're going to not just stay in the United States, but we're going to have to open in Thailand, China, and the Far East and kind of play more of a global, or it's time to get out. So when we made the decision, it was time to get out after being 15 years clean and sober and working with a bunch of names that I'm really proud of. The next natural step for me, my man, was to start my own thing.
Yeah, and well, and I guess we got about 3 minutes here. I know so we can at least scratch the surface on this. So, and again, you can share as much or as little as you want. So I don't.
I'm an open book.
I'm not trying to pry or anything, but
please.
So you talked, and even just recently you shared something, and I actually joked with you before we came on air that I thought was really interesting. And you were doing a video and you were putting on a shirt, a button-up shirt, and you said you just don't know. You said I was going through life and I was one button off. You know, if you're guys or even girls, you put on a shirt, right? And you got a misaligned, you're one button off. You don't even realize it typically until you got the dang thing button. You're like, oh crap. And you got to unbutton all of them, right? And so if you would talk a little bit about that, where was that realization that finally hit you that you're like, crap, I'm a button off. Like, what the heck is going on here? How do I fix it?
My brother, that is a deep question, because that really happened for me in 2006 when I got clean and sober. You know, it's really interesting. Business is a beautiful spiritual game. I really believe that. But at the end of the day, you know, not only is it about helping other people, but it's also, you know, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. And I was able to be extremely productive and successful drinking my face off and popping pills like they were Tic Tacs. You know, with that one button off. I know. I got it. I know. I just closed the deal for Victoria's Secrets. I know, but I didn't know, right? I didn't know. So the balance sheet could tell you that Adam's a hell of a businessman. But if you look at the balance sheet inside, what was going on, it would show you that I was completely bankrupt. And that's where everything shifted.
Well, it's interesting on a much smaller scale, but very much related. I got someone who's I'm pretty close with that. It started during COVID. You know, he has some drinks here and there, goes out and have some beers with the guys. During COVID, it started to pick up, and I started to notice it. And I literally had a talk with him, and I said, "Look, man, I'm no Adam Jablin, right? I'm not a counselor. I don't know how to do this stuff, but here's what I would challenge you to do," because we had that almost the exact same conversation you're talking about with the one button off, because he was telling me the same thing. He's like, my business is thriving. Yeah, I have some drinks. It's not a big deal, blah, blah, blah. I said, do me a favor. Yeah, you might be doing well, but you, on a scale 1 to 10, you're at an 8. If you weren't doing those things, you'd be a 12. I said, so do me a favor. Just do 1 week. Can you go 1 week? Don't have any drinks at all for a week and see if it makes you feel different. And he tried, and he went a couple of days, and then he had a drink. And I said, dude, you really need to go longer, obviously, but I'm like, just try it for a week. He finally did it. And I said, now be honest with me. He said, dude, my whole life has changed just with 7 days. He goes, I didn't realize it became normal for me to feel like crap when I wake up in the morning. I just thought that's just what it is. So it takes me till noon to kind of get rolling. And he's like, now I wake up at 7 a.m. ready to go. So even just 7 days doing that, he was, really saw the effect and everything. We got to hit a break here. Actually, we're going to come back. We're talking with Adam Jablin. We're going to continue talking about the Hero Project as well during the second segment on Mr. Biz Radio.
If you would like to reach hundreds of thousands of business owners every week, Mr. Biz Radio can help. Our show airs globally 7 days a week for more than 25 hours across several internet radio stations, plus 20 plus podcast platforms. Also, video exposure on the new exclusive Mr. Biz Network streaming channel, which gets blasted to 100 plus streaming platforms, and the Mr. Biz YouTube channel, and our 350,000 social media followers multiple times every week. Join Mr. Biz Nation as an advertiser by emailing us at info@MrBizSolutions.com.
Got a question for Mr. Biz you want answered on air? Email it to info@MrBizSolutions.com. Now, once again, here's Mr. Biz.
All right. Welcome back to the show. It is time, as always, at the top of the second segment for the Mr. Biz tip of the week. And this one, no one's going to be surprised by this if you're a loyal listener to the show. This week's tip is about cash flow. Hello. Focus on getting your cash flow right. So many business owners I see, they become enamored with the top line, with sales, with revenue. Oh my gosh, look at this, look at this. You got to worry about cash flow. If you don't have cash, you don't have a business. And it sounds strange, but you could have sales out the wazoo and have bad cash flow and actually be losing money. You could increase your revenue and actually be losing more money because your margins are crap and you're not focusing on those things. You got to get that right. And here's why, and everyone's heard me say this a million times, 82% of businesses, you see all these statistics about businesses that fail, right? They only make it this long, and there's all sorts of different studies and different numbers, but 82% of business failures are due to cash flow challenges, 82%. So flip that on its head. If you get your cash flow right, you only have an 18% chance that you're going to fail in your business. So cover the 82, get the cash flow right. A lot of different ways to do that too. So that's the Mr. Biz tip of the week. Again, this week we're talking to Mr. Adam Jablin. By the way, follow Adam on social media. He's Adam Jablin, Jablin, on all the platforms. He shares a ton of content on Instagram. I watch all of his stories. I'm a little bit of a stalker, but that's okay. And I was on his IG Live a while back, and he does IG Lives pretty often, and has some awesome guests on there. Not me. I'm not talking about me, but people like Tim Story, if you're familiar. We've talked about Tim on the show before. David Meltzer. I know I've talked about David on the show before as well. So Adam, let's get back into that a little bit. So you were one button off. You didn't realize it. What was there like an event? Was there some sort of epiphany, some like rock bottom moment? Like what like rose you out of the ashes like a phoenix?
So Ken, I was somebody that my denial was really, really, really thick. I called myself Captain Denial looking back on it. I really couldn't see how bad I was. And I'm so grateful for that story that you just shared, where you challenged your friend, just go 7 days, because I couldn't go 7 minutes. And I would lie to your face and tell you I was going 7 days. I lied all the time. I walked into an intervention. What an intervention really is, if you want to break it down in my Jersey way of talking, is when you're not going to ask for help, so everybody else that loves you is going to ask for help. That's what it is. It's that you don't have the courage to say what's really going on. Because anybody that walks into an intervention knows something's not right. And I walked into an intervention, I heard these beautiful letters, Ken, and letters that had a beautiful memory of me, something really special. Then, oh yeah, we know, and mentioning some story of me driving with my nephews drunk, bathing my 6-month-old daughter wasted on tequila, just memory after memory. And then, we love you, we're asking you to get help. And I surrendered. I went to this treatment center trying to be a good boy and showing them that I had everything under control and I could do this rehab thing, and it backfired. Everything they were teaching me made sense. The disease of alcoholism and addiction, what happens to me when I drink, the obsession, the compulsion of the mind, why some people can put it down and people like me can't. And it, like you said, it rose me from the ashes. And you had that beautiful segment real fast about cash flow. Well, for me, what was happening was that my cash flow was my spiritual life. I had none. Everything else on the outside looked great. Everything in my business looked great on the outside. But the cash flow, the spiritual life, was definitely not at 82%. So it was time for me to finally get that right. And when I got that right, everything else fell right in place.
And so that led you to, obviously it was clearly a very moving experience for you, because now that's what you do. You help folks, to take that same journey that you did. So tell us a little bit more about that. So the Hero Project.
Yeah. So brother, I found my calling, and I didn't know what it was, and it felt awkward. To be honest, I fell in love with recovery, and I felt in love with the process, and I felt in love with helping people. And when we sold the family business, it was like the next natural step. I really didn't know what I was going to do, and I leaned into my mentor. It's like I call him my spiritual father. His name is Dion. He's a rock and roll Hall of Famer, the Wanderer, and Run Around Sue. And I was like, what am I going to do next? He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're going to be Adam. You're going to influence people's thought. You're going to show people a higher reality. And that was where that entrepreneur journey really started, because there's a big difference between running an operation and building an operation. And that's what I learned with the Hero Project. Not only was I helping people get better in their lives, but I was learning how to build an operation. I can go into a multi-million-dollar company right now and run it with my eyes closed. What we were doing in the lace company, it was ridiculous. The amount of employees, the amount of insurance, workman's comp, the amount of yarn going in, the amount of product going out. I mean, it was just, and we never took days off. It was 24/7, three 8-hour shifts all the time. But building a business is completely different. And it's good for me because it gives me empathy for what I'm building with people in their own lives. I'm helping people let go of some really old ideas that these decisions that they made, Ken, when they were 7 or 8 years old, 9 years old, of who they are and how they see life and how things are supposed to be. Those are not easy things to let go of, 1, 2, 3. But we let go of these old ideas and these old beliefs. We install new patterns, new ways of looking at the world. That's the project. They turn to the hero of their own lives.
Well, I love it. And I would definitely want to make sure, especially during the last segment, you can give us some tips on how to become our own Superman, Superwoman. But before we even get into that, what are some of the different ways that people can get involved? So let's say they're interested in, geez, what is this? Let me find out a little bit more about this. Where can they find it? And maybe what's the interaction look like with the Hero Project?
Yeah, well, first off, you can find me anywhere on any social media platform. Plus, I have a little team, not a big team, but I have a little team that will be able to get you help or able to get you to me within 24 hours. And depending on what it looks like is, first off, I'm going to need to start with a conversation. I'm not a salesman. To be honest with you, I tell everybody this. I don't need your fucking money. I don't. I did well, okay? I'm going to eat, my kids are going to eat, and my grandkids are going to eat. So if you're really ready and you want to change, I'm your guy. Because I'm going to give you all of my heart, all of my emotions, all of my expertise. I'm 100% involved. If not, move on, get the fuck out. I got somebody else that wants to help. Okay? But what it looks like is you're Neo and I'm Morpheus. You're Michael Jordan and I'm Phil Jackson. And we're going to get your game. We're going to get you your game. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We get very close. There's a lot of healing. We all live in this world where we're trying to get from point A to point B as fast as possible and with significance. How's my social media doing? How is this thing hitting? How many likes do I have on this? We're all showing something that we're not. I want people to feel really good in their own lives and in their own skin. And then they want to take it and brand from there. They want to market from there. Great. Absolutely. But let's get them healthy. So it always starts with a conversation, Ken. Always.
Yeah, I like it. Well, again, Adam Jablin, follow him on social media, especially Instagram. He keeps his stories updated all the time. He's always sharing content on there. He does IG Live all the time, again, with some really amazing guests. Really good content there. If you can find out more about the Hero Project, come back after the break, and we're going to get some tips from him without him giving away the secret sauce, but of how we can become our own Superman or Superwoman in our own lives and some of the small, subtle steps we can take.
How would you like to have direct access to Mr. Biz to help you run your business more profitably and more efficiently? At MrBizSolutions.com, you get live access to not only Mr. Biz, but also several of his hand-picked and trusted business experts, each with 20 plus years of experience to help you optimally manage and grow your business. That's just the start of where Mr. Biz Solutions begins. Learn more at MrBizSolutions.com. That's MrBizSolutions.com.
Business owners have a continually growing to-do list with little time for revenue-producing activities. With Check Off Your List and their experienced team of virtual assistants, you can focus on growing your business. Visit checkoffyourlist.com to learn how Check Off Your List's skilled team can handle your day-to-day tasks like social media, bookkeeping, calendar maintenance, and much more. Contact Check Off Your List at checkoffyourlist.com or call 888-262-1249 to see how their virtual assistants can help you live to work rather than work to live.
Check out all 3 of Mr. Biz's best-selling books at MrBizBooks.com. Now, once again, here's Mr. Biz.
All right, welcome back to the show. Again, talking this week with Mr. Adam Jablin of the Hero Project. And so, Adam, I guess during this last segment, I wanted to see if you could share with us some things that we can take, some practical steps that everyone can take, any of us can take to, I guess, using your terminology, to ignite the hero within each of us. Because even if you're not, if someone's out there watching right now or listening and they go, oh, I don't drink too much, or I don't do this, I don't do that. There's probably something in your life though that may be causing you, it might not even be something negative. It could be something that that's impacting your life in a way that you would think you wouldn't realize you're one button off. For example, I had a friend years ago who was essentially, it's going to sound really strange, Adam, but you probably know this. He was addicted to working out.
Sure.
I know it sounds funny, but it was impacting his life in a very negative way because everything went on the back burner. This guy would spend 5-6 hours a day, 7 days a week at the gym. He would be late for work regularly. So I know it sounds strange, like, well, working out's a great thing. It is a great thing, but anything not in moderation, anything to an excess can be negative because it was impacting his marriage. It was impacting his relationship with his children, because that's all he cared about was the gym. So it wasn't a bottle, it wasn't a pill, but it was something else that he was addicted to that was having negative impacts on the other parts of his life. So what are some of those things? I just mentioned that. So if someone's listening or watching and they go, well, I don't do drugs, I don't drink, I don't do this, I don't do that. There could be something in your life though that's causing that. So what are some of those things that we could do that, or maybe even to recognize them?
I just leaned over for anyone who's watching because of what you just said with the working out. The title of my book is Lotsaholic. It went #1 for 4 weeks. And the reason it's called Lotsaholic, from a sick to sober Superman, is because I did everything a lot, meaning working out as well. Anything that made me feel good, I do a lot. If it's business, if it's making money, if I like it, if I'm getting some sort of pleasure or reward from it, I overdo it. So first is pen to paper. You want to know some back tricks? We got to go pen to paper. And I want people to take a real good hard look at what's controlling them rather than them controlling it. I'll say it again because it's really simple. Pen to paper, what's really controlling them rather than them controlling it. And this can even be your love for your family. If you're a strong mommy and a strong mom or a strong dad, you have to lead that way. You cannot be pushed here, pulled here. You have to lead, right? So if the family dynamic is controlling you and you're not actually helping it, starting to help control it, that's a problem. And you will start looking for outside solutions, be it working out, be it spending more time at the office, making more business meetings, drinking, drugging, even going to church more. You can go to church 3 times a day. Anything to avoid the problem, which is you're not in control. Number 2 is I would love for everybody to realize that they are not the center of the universe. Now, I would call this prayer, but ask something beyond themselves for help, okay? I can't explain how we're doing this nowadays. I can't explain to you how these phones work. I can't explain to you how a pilot nowadays doesn't even look where he's going. They use radar to go and land in. There are whales speaking beneath the ocean as we speak. Dogs are hearing whistles that we can't hear. There is so much going on beyond our 5 basic senses. And what I'm asking you is to open your mind a tiny bit, this much, to realize that there's something beyond. This is why people are using DMT, ayahuasca, mushrooms now, because there is this idea that there's something beyond this reality. There is. So start talking to it, asking for help. We can call that prayer. And also a simple meditation practice. I have every client I have, every person start with 1 minute, that's 60 seconds for 1 week of just breathing. Just breathing. 2 seconds in, 2 seconds out, nothing fancy. We don't go to transcendental meditation off the bat. We don't go to Dr. Joe Dispenza off the bat. We don't go to Tony Robbins priming off the bat. We just start with this simple 1 minute with themselves of breathing. These are 3 little things that if you implement every day, every single day for 1 week, you'll start going, oh, okay, I could be in more control here. This is really weird. I asked for help with this thing, and I had this idea. And it worked. Okay, take the credit for it. That's fine. And I have no idea, but for some reason, when I took deep breaths for 1 minute, I felt centered. I felt calm. Yeah. Hello. Because it works. You know what I mean? Because it works. And then we, when I'm coaching them, we build up to 5 minutes, then to 10 minutes. When we're done with the Hero Project, they're at 20 minutes twice a day of meditation, literally expanding their life and feeling it. They're growing their life and living in a movie, because what they think becomes a reality. But you have to do it daily.
Yeah, and I see on your social media, you share that often, where you start your day with meditation. You have you do your journaling every day. I see that all the time as well. And I think one of the things you said, and again, it sounds so obvious, but it's consistency, man.
Yeah, man.
Like, you can't expect to start meditating and meditate for 2 days and go, this didn't do anything for me. Like, you gotta give it some time and to see some of those benefits. Because just like the example I gave earlier about my friend and saying, hey man, just go 7 days without a drink. And, again, I think we start to normalize, I don't say negative, I guess kind of negative stuff, right? So in his example, he just realized that, I'm not a morning person. So it takes me a while to get going, get my engines going. It takes me until about noon to really kind of hit my stride. Yeah, that's because you drank way too much the day before. It's not because you're not a morning person. But he normalized. That's just how I am. You know what I mean? And I think
I love that.
A lot of these addictions, it's that thing, right? You start to normalize it. Well, yeah, I missed my kid's birthday party because I was at the gym. What?
You're stuck.
Are you freaking kidding me? Like,
you're stuck. You're stuck. And I love that word that you use, consistent. Ken, I've heard this show many times. I'm a fan of yours and I follow your content. It's way better to do let's say you and I are growing a business together, or anyone we're in contact with listening to the show, we all decide to do something. It's way better to do something for 30 minutes, just 30 minutes, 7 days in a row, than one thing for 2 hours on Monday and then we don't touch it again to the following Monday. It's just putting that little bit of life, a little bit of attention into it daily that helps it grow. So that's why I start week 1 with only 1 minute meditation. I know they're going to do it. It's easy.
Right.
It's easy. Right. And it's the same thing with if you and I were in the gym, we're going to start with the bar. I know it's easy. I know. But don't worry, in time, we're going to get you to 135, 185, 205, 225. Just do the basics. Come each day, do what you're supposed to do. And don't, like you said with your friend, don't overdo it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and again, the consistency and starting small, like you said. If you start out with someone and you go, hey, and someone who's never meditated in their entire life, and you go, I need you to meditate 20 minutes twice every day. It's overwhelming. They go, there's no way in hell I'm going to do that. I'm not interested in it. I don't want to do it. But by starting small and creating those daily habits and a kind of a routine, a ritual, and then you build on the 1 minute to 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and you build yourself up to it, you start to see the benefits of it. And then you want to do it more.
That's it. You start seeing the reward, Yes. And I love also what you said too, with building a business, that I wrote it down with that cash flow thing. I'll be honest with you. Building a business and running a business are completely different. And I was this close to being somebody that was grow, gone. Grow, right? Because, when you get a little bit of success and you get a little bit of momentum, and that cash flow, the money you're making is going out just as fast as it's, I'll tell you, you can grow. And now all of a sudden you can't afford your overhead. Do you know what I mean? Because you got the marketing and you got the branding and you got this gig and you got, right? So it's real. I've learned more building a business than I ever did running the family operation. Honestly, it's a whole different mentality.
Yeah. Well, guys, again, Adam Jablin, go follow him on social media. It's Jablin. If you're not watching, I don't see his name on the screen, but follow him on social media. Guys, Adam, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Ken, thanks for having me. All my love, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, thanks for watching and listening. Have a great week. And as always, don't forget, cash flow is king.
To become part of Mr. Biz Nation, follow him on all social media platforms or never miss a show by going to MrBizRadio.com. If you prefer free video content, visit the Mr. Biz YouTube channel or check out his streaming channel, which is available on 100 plus streaming platforms at MrBizNetwork.com.